Assalamualaikum. Today I will be explaining to you about how an individual can be a resident by virtue of Section 71C. So under Section 71C, that person will be considered to be an a resident in Malaysia if the number of stay in Malaysia for that particular year must be at least 90 days. Okay, so that person must stay in Malaysia at least minimum for 90 days and 3 out of 4 immediate preceding years are either he is a resident or stay in Malaysia at least 90 days. So I'm going to give you an example here. The year in question is actually year 2020 because why? For this semester, we'll be using budget 2020. So assuming that you are going to decide the resident status for this individual in year 2020. So as the question said earlier, dia punya syarat ialah, katakanlah you have try to use section 71A dan juga B. So under section 71A and B, this person cannot be considered as a resident. Dia tak dapat status resident. So that's why kita proceed to check whether they will be entitled for the residence punya status under section 71C. 71C said that the number of days stayed in Malaysia must be minimum at least 90 days. For example, in year 2020, this person stayed in Malaysia for 100 days. Okay, so what happened? You have to take a look at the 4 immediate preceding YA. Immediate preceding. So 2020, prior to 2020, you have 2019, 2018, and also 2017, and another one is 2016. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what we call as immediate 4 preceding YA. So if you wanted to know whether this person will be entitled or not for Section 71C, there are 2 condition that need to be fulfilled. The first one, this is the first one. Okay, the year in question tu mesti minimum 90 days dia stay kat Malaysia. Okay, this is the first one. Yang ni dapat dia stay at least 90 days. Memang at least 90 days pun because they stay in Malaysia for 100 days. And what you need to know is that 3 out of 4. Yang ni 1, 2, 3, 4. Dia tak nak all 4. They just required you to come up with 3 out of 4. 3 daripada 4 tahun ni mestilah sama ada. Either they stay in Malaysia at least 90 days or dia ialah resident in Malaysia. So katakanlah for this example, in 2016 this person stay in Malaysia for 120 days. In 2017 dia resident, yang ni dia resident, yang ni dia duduk di Malaysia for 10 days only. Okay, so kita tengah check the resident status untuk tahun 2020. Yang ni dia non-resident, yang ni pun dia non-resident. Okay, so isu dia sekarang ni, for this 2020 dia boleh jadi resident atau tak? Okay, sekejap saya tulis balik. Yang ni dia non-resident but stay in Malaysia 120 days. Yang ni resident lah, resident. Yang ni dia non-resident, stay in Malaysia for 10 days only. Kita tengah check the resident status untuk 2020. Kena tengok 2020 tadi saya kata dia stay in Malaysia for 100 days. So dia meet the requirement yang first. The second requirement is that 3 out of 4. Daripada 4 ni, 3 out of 4 mestilah sama ada minimum stay in Malaysia for 90 days ataupun dia jadi resident. So kalau kita tengok dekat sini, for year 2019 tak ikut syarat ni, less than 90 days dan dia pun bukan resident. 2018 yes, he is a resident. 2017 pun dia resident. 2016 even though dia bukan resident but dia stay in Malaysia for at least 90 days. So by virtue of section 71C, this person is a resident in Malaysia in YA 2020 because in year 2020 they stay in Malaysia at least 90 days. Lepas tu 3 out of 4 immediate Okay, immediate 3 out of 4, Allahu Akbar. 3 out of 4 immediate preceding YA resident or stay in Malaysia for at least 90 days. So you have to state lah. Okay, untuk 2016 awak kena tulis dalam ni. Untuk 2016, for 2016 dia stay in Malaysia more than 90 days. Bukan more than 90 days, at least 90 days. Year 2017 and 2018 dia sama dengan resident. You have to state the reason here. Okay, so section 71C is pretty simple. Okay, year in question must be at least 90 days. Lepas tu 3 out of 4 immediate preceding YA, sama ada dia stay for 90 days ataupun dia ialah resident in Malaysia. Okay, now you're going to look at section 71D pula. Under section 71D, dia yang paling lain daripada yang lain. Because why? 71A, orang tu need to be in Malaysia for a minimum of 182 days. Baru boleh jadi ni. Section B pula, section 1B, dia stay. Orang tu must stay in Malaysia. Tapi dia stay in Malaysia less than 182 hari. Stay in Malaysia less than 182 days. Okay, but kita boleh link, either link to ataupun link by. Mesti duduk juga kat Malaysia at least 1 hari. C pula, that person must be in Malaysia at least minimum for 90 days. Lepas tu 3 out of 4 immediate preceding YA, sama ada resident ataupun stay in Malaysia for at least 90 days. Untuk D, what makes it so peculiar as compared to the rest of the section is that individual doesn't have to be in Malaysia at all for that particular of year. Untuk year in question tu, dia tak perlu ada pun kat dalam Malaysia. Okay, number of days in Malaysia is not relevant. Dia tak ada kat Malaysia pun tak apa. Habis tu, how can he be a resident in Malaysia? Ada syarat dia. Syarat dia, the following year, daripada year in question tu, dia mesti resident. Lepas tu, 3 immediate preceding year pun, dia ialah resident. So, untuk D ni macam ni. Assuming that year in question ialah 2020. Kita tengah nak check 2020. Lepas tu, dia kata 3 immediate preceding. Maksudnya 2019, 2018 dan juga 2017. Year in question yang ni. Lepas tu, one following, 2021. What happened here? Kita nak decide untuk year 2020. Okay. Dan year 2020, katakanlah orang ni langsung tak ada kat Malaysia. Ataupun dia ada di Malaysia. Tapi bila dia ada di Malaysia tu, still dia tak layak untuk jadi resident by virtue of section 71B ke A ke C. Dia still tak layak. So, dia can either be tak ada langsung kat Malaysia pun boleh, ada di Malaysia pun boleh. Lepas tu what happen? Dia kata immediately following. Year in question ialah year 2020. Kita tengah decide ni. 2020 ni, we are deciding whether 2020 ni dia jadi resident atau tidak. Nak tahu jadi resident atau tak, yang ni after 71A dah test, kita dah test bahawa A, B dan C. Dia tak jadi resident juga, then only kita apply 71D. So what happened? Kita tengok, kalau 2021 dia ialah resident, 2019 pun dia resident, 2018 pun dia resident, 17 pun dia resident. In this case, what happened? 2020 pun akan jadi resident. Why? Because under section 71D dia kata, if the following year resident, 3 immediate preceding year pun ialah resident, that individual will be a resident in Malaysia, even though kalau dia tak ada pun kat Malaysia masa tu. Kalau dia ada lagi lah boleh. Okay, so what happen normally bila year 2020 ni dah berakhir, kita nak tahu orang tu dah jadi resident tidak, kita kena tengoklah daripada 1st January 2020 sampai 31st December 2020. So during this time, tahun 2021 ni, kita dah submit dah tax return form. Tax payable untuk 2020 kita dah tahu. So there might be some cases where orang ni dah bayar tax masa 2020, dia bayar tax sebagai non-resident. Tapi bila 2020 dia pun jadi resident, sebelumnya resident 2020 dia tak jadi resident, masuk 2021 dia jadi resident, menyebabkan year 2020 ni status dia dah bertukar daripada non-resident becoming a resident. Tapi dia dah bayar tax dah, all the tax that imposed on him has been paid awal-awal lagi. So what would happen? Apa yang jadi kalau kes ni ada, dia akan buat revise balik. Dia akan revise dia punya tax computation. So from the revision of the tax computation, daripada dia non-resident becoming a resident, definitely dia akan dapat refund. Sebab as we have mentioned earlier, kalau dia non-resident, kita akan tax dia flat rate 30%. Tapi kalau resident ni dia ada scale rate daripada 0% sampai ke 30%. So he might fall within this scale lah. Okay. Jadi I really hope that by now you should be able to know the differences between section 7(1)(a), B, C and also D. Okay, so if you have any confusion regarding this section, please look at the previous video that I have shared with you and try to understand it. Kalau you still have a problem, please do not hesitate to contact me. But I would be really appreciate if you can contact me using the ask me question using the WhatsApp group rather than ask me dalam personally lah. Okay, there might be some chances of I may have accidentally overlooked your messages, your text tu. Okay, sekarang ni there's another thing yang we need to look at, which is about section 7(1)(b). Okay, sorry ya. This is concerning section 7(1)(b). Okay, this is one, okay, 1B. It says that Malaysian citizen exercising employment in public services. Public services meaning to say that this individual, they works with the government, with the Malaysian government. Okay, for those who work with the government, kita panggil dia orang tu kerja dalam public sector ataupun public services. Okay, so what happened is that there's a law specially dedicated for those who work with the government. Okay, yang ni di bawah section 7(1)(b). It says that starting from YA 2009, the Malaysian citizen, orang tu mestilah Malaysian citizen, rakyat Malaysia, warga negara Malaysia, exercising employment in the public services or statutory authorities outside Malaysia, ataupun employed in public services or statutory authority but attending any course of studying in any institution or professional body outside Malaysia which is fully sponsored by the employer. Ini contoh siapa tahu? Untuk ini contoh macam we do have ambassador, duta. Okay, lepas tu kita ada high commissioner. Kita juga ada several government agency macam contoh Matrade. Matrade ni dia promote Malaysian goods dekat overseas. They have offices throughout the world, kat semua dunia ada ni. Jadi yang kerja kat situ tu banyaknya Malaysian citizen. Okay, and they are working with Matrade. Matrade is actually under Ministry of Finance juga. Silap. Sorry, not Ministry of Finance. Kementerian perusahaan. Okay. Jadi kat sini dia bawa MITI ya, dia bawa MITI. Jadi kat sini kisahnya diorang work with government, Malaysian government. The Malaysian government paid them salary, but they are working outside Malaysia. Mereka working outside Malaysia. So in this case, mereka tak akan stay in Malaysia. They will not be in Malaysia for most of the time because they are being located outside Malaysia. Okay, untuk kes yang ini, even though they are not present in Malaysia, kita akan still consider mereka ni akan jadi resident in Malaysia. Ataupun this person work with Malaysian government, okay, dengan public university ke, UiTM, UKM and so on, ataupun dia work with LHDN sendiri ke, dia kerja dengan RMCD, okay, Royal Malaysian Custom Department. Lepas tu dia will send to further their study overseas, kat overseas, and it is fully sponsored by the employer tu fully sponsored, walaupun they were not in Malaysia. Kalau buat PhD 3 years tak ada kat Malaysia, duduk overseas for 3 years, tapi during the year yang dia tak ada kat Malaysia sebab dia pergi further study, will still be considered sebagai resident. Section 71B here is specifically designed untuk orang yang macam ni lah, Malaysian citizen yang kerja dengan public sector, public services. Lepas tu sama ada dia will send to work abroad ataupun dia kena further study any courses of studying. Alright, boleh faham? So ada example sikit, we are going to look at the example here. Okay, it says that Iqmal is a Malaysian ambassador to the USA, had the following period of stay in Malaysia and US. Okay, yang ni untuk year 2019. Untuk YA 2019. 2009. Yang ni untuk year 2010. In 2009, he stayed in USA for 365 days. He was not present at all in Malaysia. Kita tengah check ni, kita tak buat untuk US, kita buat untuk Malaysia. Untuk Malaysia, dia langsung tak ada kat Malaysia. Okay, berapa number of days in Malaysia? Number of days yang dia ada kat Malaysia tak ada langsung. So 2010, number of days dia ada kat Malaysia 15 hari je. Lepas tu the rest semua ada kat US. So, walaupun macam ni, 2019 langsung tak ada kat Malaysia, 2010 cuma ada for 15 days. Okay, so still dia akan jadi resident. Resident kat mana? Resident in Malaysia. So dia punya income will be taxed in Malaysia. Akan kena tax in Malaysia. Sebab apa? By virtue of subsection, ini subsection 71B. Sebab dia Malaysian citizen, employed in the public services of Malaysia, dia exercise employment outside Malaysia by virtue of his employment which requires him to carry out his duty overseas. Macam sometimes kita punya pertahanan negara, askar-askar kita, they were sent to work abroad juga. Tapi mereka di bawah Angkatan Tentera Malaysia. So sama, gaji diorang nanti dia akan bayar tax dekat Malaysia, dan status diorang ialah sebagai resident. We are going to treat them as resident. And you have to lagi sekali ingat kenapa, what is the beauty of becoming a resident in Malaysia? When you want to pay tax in Malaysia, dan awak jadi resident in Malaysia, ada 3 benefits dia. The first one is that awak will be entitled for relief. Lepas tu bayar tax guna skill rate, tak adalah kena flat rate 30%, dia 0% sehingga 30%. Okay, dan yang ketiga, you're going to get rebate. This is the perks, the beauty of becoming a resident in Malaysia if you have to pay tax in Malaysia. Okay, this is another example. Here is about Suling, who is a Malaysian citizen. Okay, syarat nombor 1 dia fulfill, dia Malaysian citizen. Tapi dia works in a multinational company in Kuala Lumpur. Dia tak kerja dalam public sector. Dia bukan public services punya employee. Dia bukan kerja with the government. Yang ni multinational company. Yang ni dia kerja dalam private sector. So, subsection 7, Allahu Akbar, sorry. Subsection 7, 1B is not applicable for Suling. So if you to look at the question here, dia kata after working for a few years, she obtained a full sponsorship from her employer to pursue a bachelor degree course in Australia. Her period of stay in Malaysia and Australia was as follows. Yang ni untuk year 2009. 2009, dia stay in Malaysia for how many days? 31 days saja. Yang ni dia tak ada. Lepas tu untuk year 2010, they stay in Malaysia for 41 days. Okay. So, Kalau if we were to look at yang ni, dia tak entitled for subsection 71B because she doesn't work with the government. She is not in the public sector. Jadi kita akan pakai section 71. Kena tengoklah A, B, C, D. A nak jadi mesti cukup at least 182 days, tak dapat. Kalau B pula, dia mesti link to dengan link by. Dan tempoh yang dia link must be in Malaysia for at least 182 days pun tak dapat. Sebab ni 31 dengan 41. Okay. Lepas tu pula C. C kata year yang in question must be at least 90 days. Tak cukup 90 days. D pula tak kisah how many days you stay in Malaysia, tapi immediately following dengan 3 immediately preceding mesti resident. So for this case, Suling is not a resident in Malaysia. Okay. La ilaha illallah, sorry. Okay, let's take a look at another example. This is also pertaining to subsection 71B yang untuk government employee tu. Taufik, okay, is an officer with the Ministry of Tourism went on study leave to pursue an MBA course in the United Kingdom. Okay, dia ni work dengan Ministry of Tourism, Kementerian Pelancongan. Lepas tu, he was sponsored by the government of Malaysia to pursue his study. His period of stay in Malaysia and UK was as follows. Untuk 2009, I'm so sorry, 2009, they stay for 91 days. 2010, tak ada 2020, astaghfirullahaladzim. 2010, tak ada langsung. 2010, dia langsung tak stay kat Malaysia. So, for this case, because Taufik, this question dia miss satu ayat. Dia patut mention Taufik is a Malaysian citizen. Dia kena mention yang tu. So, but normally the government would give the scholarship to the Malaysian citizen. Kita tak akan sponsor yang non-citizen lah kan. So, Taufik, dia Malaysian citizen. Dia work in a public services in Malaysia. Dia further his study attending course outside Malaysia which is fully sponsored by the Malaysian government. In this case, dia akan jadi resident in Malaysia even though dia punya syarat by section 71 A, B, C, D tu tak fulfill, but still yet he can be a resident. Okay, with that I will end my presentation for today. I will come up with another video which is on the tutorial on how to answer the question pertaining to resident status. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.